Okay, welcome back. This is a flight I took the other day, flying from KDAY, which is Dayton International in Ohio, down to KCVG, which is Cincinnati. And I was outside, looked up in the air, and I thought, wow, this looks like an interesting cloud formation. I wonder how it looks inside the flight sim. And loaded up the flight simulator, created a plan, set it to live weather, and it was phenomenal. Pretty darn still, I'm mesmerized by the cloud formations, the colors, just all that goes into it. The only thing that I have found isn't quite right is the foliage. So here in Ohio at this time of year, all of the trees have lost their leaves, except of course the pine trees. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's pretty spot on. So full disclosure, I recorded this video the day after the day of when I recorded the video. Somehow the GFORCE gameplay recording did not do it properly. It came in all looked like crap. Distorted, grainy. So the next morning I thought, well, let's see if we can go back and actually dial up what happened yesterday in the flight sim, and sure enough you can. And although this is pretty spectacular, the first time around it was completely amazing. And yeah, so here I am. I'm fighting the zoom in, zoom out on the mouse wheel versus scrolling the flight plan on the screen there. I haven't quite figured out how to disengage the zoom versus control the scroll on the device. So yeah, I'll get it figured out. I have figured out that F9 is the default key for track IR to disable it, and maybe that will take care of it. I'm not sure. I'll try it out the next flight. But look at this. The clouds, you can't find a pattern in how they're, would that be a word be? Spawned? I don't know. They're just, there isn't a pattern, and it's really amazing. I'm so impressed. Oh, other thing, we don't see stars like this in Ohio. We have too much ambient light from the cities and such to actually get as many stars as they're going to show when we get down on the ground in CVG. To my flight friends, I'm curious how close this is for them. I have a couple of, or at least one guy that flies in and out of Cincinnati all the time, and I'm really curious what his take on this is. So again, I'm in my plane of choice right now, the Daher. I think it's how it's pronounced, Daher, D-A-H-E-R, the 930 turboprop, and it's quick, pretty easy to use. I'm getting close to being able to start it up and do all the checklist things without having to look at the checklist, but still need a little help until I keep the checklist items available. That's another thing I love about the flight sim is that, I mean, you can jump into any plane and fly it without, you know, danger. So pretty. and speed it up here and spare you some of the boring stuff. Some of the other frustrating things I've found with Microsoft is that every once in a while the ATC will come in and reroute you to a different runway than what's in the flight plan, which I suppose is real, could be, but then I can't figure out how to clear the flight plan and go to the new routing, and I end up having to fly it by manually when I take it out of autopilot because I can't get rid of all the old waypoints. That'll be in another video. I show that in detail, and then of course the AI gets confused, and my responses back to ATC are always, when I'm descending, is that I'm climbing to some set altitude that it thinks was gonna be at or whatever. It gets weird. So I'm setting my vertical speed for descent, and again you'll see me fighting the zoom versus scroll on the knobs or dials and such, and I gotta figure out how to get those two functions separated. There I am trying to get CVG up on my comm. Can't find it in the list. Sometimes I think it's just that I'm not quite close enough to it. So now I think I'm looking to see how far away I am. And it may have been, or it may be that if I had selected flight following, that the AI would have known that I was trying to get to CVG and then connected me to CVG. Traffic. And that's one of the other things. I don't know if it's true with the Garmin glass or not, but depending on how the map is zoomed will determine whether you see there's a traffic there at the top of us, or about 11 o'clock there, and it's not showing on the radar or the Garmin glass.
Cincinnati approach Moscow 232 is typed down RTBM 96 miles east of India 675 5,500 feet. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Moscow 232 Cincinnati approach. Squawk 207
Yeah, I'm just trying to get them to acknowledge or get the CVG to come up on my list. So I'm like, oh, I'll just try that. And that's not what I wanted really. I wanted to say, hey, you're cleared to land.
Moscow 232, did you hear my last transmission?
Don't ignore the ATC. I'm ignoring ATC. Very bad.
Squawk 207 Moscow 232.
Moscow 232, radar contact 5 miles east of India 4,600 feet. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
Not what I want.
Bravo airspace Bosco 2 Tree 2.
Come on, give me CVG. Oh, there it is. Request full stop.
Tower Bosco 2 Tree 2 is 11 miles north with Echo to land.
Bosco 2 Tree 2 Tower. Enter left downwind runway 27. Altimeter tree 0.05, wind 276 at 5.
Acknowledge. Come on, James. No. Oh, 27. Let's see. They,
Tower Bosco 2 Tree 2 would prefer runway 18 center.
Bosco 2 Tree 2 Tower. Fly straight in runway 18 center. Altimeter tree 0.03, wind 196
let
at
me do that.
12.
I don't remember that happening.
Make straight in runway 18 center Bosco 2 Tree 2.
I'm sure I would have had ATC screaming at me for entering their flight pattern way before that. Still fighting the wheel for setting vertical speed. Come on, people. Look at the graphics. This is amazing. I used to fly the flight sim in the 90s, and it I mean, compared to this, it's a joke. But it was fantastic back then. VR is on the horizon to come into play, and I'm sure that will be very immersive if we can afford the hardware. Like I'm really low. I think at which is going to be the next waypoint, I should be at 15,000 something. I'm low.
Bosco 2 Tree 2 cleared to land runway 18 center. Wind 196 at 12.
Cleared to land runway 18 center Bosco 2 Tree 2.
Well, that's the other thing. So on playback, the communications between ATC and myself really low in the mix, and I don't. It may be that I've got a setting somewhere that makes it that way, so it's really hard to hear and more true to life, I guess. But man, almost impossible to hear what they're saying. You have to read it. But here on the playback, it's like it's really loud, which is not the way it is. over the Ohio River.
Tower Delta 1622 ready for IFR departure runway 27. Delta 1622 cleared for takeoff runway 27. Cleared for takeoff runway 27 Delta 1622.
So for the DA here, you're supposed to be fully configured, landing gear, flaps at full, and knots around 85. I'm a little fast. But I found that this plane, at least in the sim, comes to a stop rather quickly, or soon enough that I don't have to worry about the length of the runway here for sure. And I don't even touch the feather to use the prop to brake, aero braking. You know, it comes to a stop just fine. Watching more of my videos, you're probably being driven nuts by the fact that I am constantly changing my approach at the end. I can't ever seem to line up with the runway and fly in straight. It's like always using rudder and aileron to get myself centered. And I like to land left of center. Sounds weird. I'm still not good enough to work without the taxi ribbons either. That's the blue that you see there lined up on the runway. That Microsoft provides a taxi ribbon to follow.
Cincinnati Airport information echo.
Especially here at CVG, where I'll look at how they tell me to get to
Delta 1622 contact Cincinnati departure on 128.7.
general parking. It's like Foxtrot Kilo Lima. What?
Moscow 23 2 exit runway when able. .7 for Delta 1622.
I'm gonna have to save.
Moscow 232 contact ground on 121.7.
121.7 Bosco 232. Ground Bosco 232 taxi to parking.
Bosco 232 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Foxtrot Lima Kilo cross runway 36 center Kilo Foxtrot.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, you can see the amount of stars up there in the sky, and that's just not
Moscow 232,
Cincinnati.
did you hear my last transmission?
Oh, I heard it. I just didn't understand.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Foxtrot Lima Kilo cross runway 36 center Kilo Foxtrot Bosco 232.
Running off. Gonna hit those lights. I'm cruising way too fast. This is too fast for taxiing. So there's a
Ground
plane
United
coming up here,
225 requesting the end of pushback.
and it doesn't tell me that I should stop. So
United 225 request to end pushback received.
usually tower should tell me to stop.
Moscow 232, hold position
Oh, there it
caution.
is.
The generic on the taxiway.
Hold position Bosco 232.
Moscow 232, continue taxi.
Roger, Bosco 232.
Ground United 225 with Echo ready to taxi IFR.
I don't think I
United
turned on
225
landing lights.
taxi to and hold short of runway 18 center via taxiway Romeo, Quebec, Kilo Foxtrot, Juliet. Contact tower on 118 decimal tree when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 18 center using taxiway Romeo, Quebec, Kilo Foxtrot, Juliet, United 225.
Every once in a while, while watching my videos, you might hear my dog Bosco. Hence, Bosco 232. My call.
United 225, hold position caution, other traffic. United 225, continue taxi.
And if you've made it this long through the video, congratulations. That's quite a feat. Appreciate you watching.
Roger, United
Please
225.
like, subscribe. I'll continue to make content. Plan on flying the Grand Canyon here sometime soon.
Moscow 232, hold position caution, other traffic.
And where? Where's the other traffic? Not see anything.
Moscow 232, continue taxi.
Okay. Silly things like that.
United 225, hold position caution, other traffic.
Also, you can't always trust the blue ribbon for taxiing.
United 225, continue taxi.
I found on my cross-country flights, more often than not,
Roger, Bosco
they lead
232.
off to the grass at the when you're supposed to go onto the
Roger,
runway.
United 225.
Point the wrong direction. It's weird. And this, why do I need to turn to the right and then turn left and then turn right again? It's like, maybe because there's a plane there, or could be, but there isn't, so seems kind of silly. I gotta wait for this guy to get out of the way.
United 225, hold position caution, other traffic.
Hey, get over to the right. Okay, don't run me over.
Hold position, United 225.
Good times. Alright, thanks everybody. See you the next flight. Yeah, and if you want to stick around and listen to this thing turn off, it's another 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
United 225, continue taxi.
Nothing else exciting is going to happen though. Seriously.
Roger, United 225.
I don't know why I keep it running.
Oral warning, okay.
Hmm. am I sitting here watching this? I've seen it before.
Ground Amerijet Niner 72, request taxi to the gate.
Are you still
Amerijet
here?
Niner 72 taxi to gate 64 via taxiway, Papa Lima, Quebec, Romeo.
Taxiing to gate 64 via taxiway Papa Lima, Quebec, Romeo, Amerijet Niner 72.
That was weird. First time that's happened. Could have been I had my hand in front of my tracker.
Ground Delta 1617 taxi to the gate. Delta 1617 taxi to gate 65 via taxiway Sierra. Taxiing to gate 65 using taxiway Sierra, Delta 1617.
Pretty nice. Should
Throttle.
do me.